All right, and welcome back to the Movie Pope podcast. And today we are going to take a look at a trailer that caught the two of us by surprise because I had no idea this was even a thing. This popped up. This popped up in my feed probably within the last 16 hours. I mean, it's that new to me. Like I like to think I stay on top of these things, but this caught me completely by surprise. Um, what did you? I mean, what did you think of the news?
Well, considering I just found about it, about 30 seconds ago, pretty shocking to me. So yep, I will say I try my best to stay atop on it, similar to you. This totally was not on the radar at all. So, not seen this at all. So I guess, we'll jump in and see. I have no idea what to expect with this.
I mean, the thing is like with The Walking Dead, you figured, it's there. It's been on for God knows how long. Probably even, I mean, would you say it's been a lot longer than Supernatural, or roughly as the same amount of years as Supernatural?
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good guess. I mean, and that's not including like all the spin-offs, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you have The Walking Dead, and then there's Fear the Walking Dead, and I think that there's some other thing that they had, and it's just
Yeah, so this came out of left field for the both of us, really. Because what the hell? All right, let's dive in.
All right. Well, we'll check out Barbie first.
If I don't make it back,
Never mind.
I tried.
Daryl Dixon.
My name's Daryl Dixon. I come from a place called the Commonwealth. It's in America.
How did you come to be in France?
Bunch of bad decisions.
Yeah, how did you show up in France from America?
He was in a little mattress thing.
Oh, okay.
Decisions.
Yeah, I can imagine that could cross the Atlantic
We've
Ocean,
been
no
waiting
problem.
for you. I'm Laurent. You're the messenger to deliver Laurent.
L'Américain,
Trouvez-le, tuez-le.
Je courrais. Je chercherai rien.
I know you can get him there safely. He's ready
Ready for what?
to lead the revival of humanity.
Curious how he's supposed to do that, but I guess we will find out.
Things happen. Things are changing.
Maybe we're the same that way. Broken until the world ended.
Take it. If I don't make it back, I want them to know I tried. Hell, I'm still trying.
A lot of old-timey weapons, I'm also noticing.
Can I just say, first of all, they're playing the same music that they used for Godzilla King of the Monsters. Because when that trailer came out, they played the same classical piece.
That's true.
The first thing that came out. Second, Lee, have you ever seen a TV series about an older man who has to protect a little girl while he's getting her to a safe place amid a zombie apocalypse? Because I'm not quite sure if this has ever been done before. Like, I don't know if this was a TV series or a video game that might have had a similar premise. I don't know. I mean, this must be something new that AMC and The Walking Dead are doing, because we've never seen a show or a video game like that before.
No, I can't think of a time where The Last of Us was ever. Oh, wait a minute. I figured out what it was.
I mean, I mean, seriously, like, come on, Walking Dead. Like, this is where you're going to. You are literally taking. I mean, you are taking a series that pretty much follows the same genre and the same format as you are, and you're just copying and pasting it. So instead of Joel, you've got Daryl, and instead of Ellie, you've got Laurent. I mean, the only difference is that they're in France and not the US, but it's pretty much the same fucking premise.
Yeah, it just the depths of what we're willing to do just has no bounds. And I mean, I guess if you're gonna create a spinoff, like everyone really likes Daryl Dixon, right? I mean, in the original series, which I forget what season I stopped at because it just felt like it was, churning through the
Repetitive.
same thing over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So eventually it's not, but obviously Daryl, fan favorite. I think a lot of people really like him. Really cool character, not a part of the graphic novels, right? So he's a new character that was created for the show.
Yeah.
And obviously resonated very well with the audience. And I mean, he is a cool character, but it's like, cool. Now we want to have a series about him. It just, geez,
I mean,
it's just like,
people
have to let go of shows after a while. Like it feels like this is an ongoing problem where it's just like, oh, well, yeah, after a while, it's like the sunk cost fallacy. It's like, oh, well, I've already watched like 9 seasons of Walking Dead. I guess I better finish the next 4. And then it's like, oh, now I need to watch Fear of the Walking Dead. And oh, now I need to watch Daryl Dixon. And then, whatever the next thing that comes out. Wasn't there like something like a prequel about it too for The Walking Dead? I'm sure there's something that got canceled after 2 seasons that I don't know about. So it's just like, it's nothing, right? It's literally just like, cool. It's like, are you obsessed with The Walking Dead, right? And I guess like depending on who it is, did you like Daryl Dixon? If you answer yes to this, then this is, I imagine, something going to be for you. But I mean, it's just a nothing burger. Like what am I looking at that's any different that I haven't seen in loads of other things like this? And the answer is probably nothing. So,
even so, I mean, the fact that they're pretty much, following the same premise as The Last of Us, that I mean, that should trigger you right there, because it's like, we've already seen something like this before. So why would I want to watch something that, something else that's following the same premise? Because I mean, if it's anything like The Last of Us, you kind of get a feeling that Daryl's going to come out on top.
Of course. I mean, he's the lead character. I've always expected him to come out on top. I mean, it's the show's named after him, so I think everything will live and die by Daryl and what he does in the show. But
I mean,
it's
just a shame because because I can be I can be forgiving. Like if they did a Daryl Dixon series, I mean, I would probably watch a few episodes. I would be intrigued by it, but the fact that they're following The Last of Us is just laziness. Like they could have gone with hundreds of other premises, and they had to land on this one. You know what I mean? That's I mean, I'm probably being a dead horse, but I mean that's my huge gripe. And the set and really everybody's been drinking from the Marvel Kool-Aid, because you had a successful series, and then slowly begin adding more spin-off series and more until it's become this huge cash cow. And I mean, I understand, like behind the scenes, this is to make sure that people continue to get work. This is feeding into the fandom, trying to get more people into the franchise who otherwise wouldn't have known about it, or who wouldn't have cared too much about it beforehand. But I mean, this is a bridge too far, dude. If they haven't jumped the shark already, this is their moment.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they must have jumped the shark somewhere, right? Because they went over the Atlantic Ocean, so a shark had to have been jumped somewhere in there.
Literally, yeah.
But I mean, it just feels like content, right? And I think we're seeing this more and more now.
It's oversaturated, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. As we get more and more of these streaming services, the Hulus, the Apple Plus, the Netflix, whatever the hell this comes on, AMC or whatever.
And
right?
Disney
like,
also,
I feel like
yeah.
Yes, like I feel like over time, it's just like, cool, we got to push out content, and the quality content doesn't even have to be that good. It's just like, cool. Well, we have to have something out there now. So it's like, well, The Walking Dead, and I'm fairly positive it's over. I want to say the last season happened. Like I said, I wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah,
But
neither have I. So
yeah, so I'm pretty sure that happened sometime in the past few years. I believe it ended. So it's like, cool. Well, that was our big thing. So I guess we have to kind of continue with that. So it's like, well, everyone likes Daryl, and I'm guessing, judging from how this is coming up, I'm guessing he survives the ending of The Walking Dead, just off of what I'm seeing. But it's just like, who cares? Like, I mean, is anyone like, oh yeah, this is what I really want to watch after watching, 15 plus seasons or whatever, however much content came out for The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, how many decades of watching the same thing is it like, okay, this is not okay anymore? What stage are people going to finally be like, you know what? It was cool, right? The Walking Dead, cool premise. Like the characters. You like, the main group, Michonne, Negan, whatever floated your boat, right? You liked it. That's fine, right? Now it's like, okay, cool. How many times are you just going to regurgitate the same nonsense of people? And it's just like, it just has no interest. I don't get it. I don't get how like things like this continue to get made, because it is so unimaginative. It's just like a way to just milk things out. So, I guess if, like I said, you're really big to Daryl, and like I said, super cool character, really liked him in the series. Do I want to see him in his own show? Absolutely not. Right? I didn't even want to see any more of The Walking Dead, which is why I gave up on watching it. So at a certain stage, it's like you just have to kind of cut off. Just enjoy what that experience was, right? Enjoy what The Walking Dead brought. It got a whole lot of people interested in the zombie genre, which was really cool. But after a while, it's just like, okay, now we're just oversaturated, like you said.
Well, I did read somewhere recently, and by recently I meant a few minutes ago, that Andrew Lincoln was in talks with AMC about reprising his character. So, I mean, the oversaturation continues, really.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like we've been hearing that for almost a decade now, right? Because I believe I heard that too at the when he exited the show, and I guess spoilers if you have been watching The Walking Dead, when his character was kind of not killed off, but kind of like
He just went off into the sunset. Yeah.
Yes, like he was kind of like taken away. And I remember for a long time they're like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna do something with Andrew Lincoln's character. And they were talking about that for, I mean, that had to be like 10 years ago at this stage. So I don't know. And like I said, if something comes out like that, I'm gonna have the exact same response. I don't care, right? I don't care about that. I think this is why we start to see this stuff, and I think why we're starting to see like superhero fatigue, right? Like the Flash kind of dropped the ball there. Like I thought, I think we're starting to see more and more of that stuff. And it's like The Walking Dead. It's like, well, hold my beer. Like if we're starting to notice all these superhero things dying down because people just don't have the same interest in it, The Walking Dead's like, I guess, is slow to picking up on that. People just don't really care about it. So, I mean, maybe The Walking Dead just has a truly diehard fan base that they'll watch anything that comes out. But like, I don't know how many times you can watch the same general idea for a series and not get bored of it. So basically,
this is zombie fatigue, right?
Oh yeah, that's a great way of putting it, right? So, zombie fatigue. Like, how many times? Actually, let's look at how many Walking Dead shows are there, just out of curiosity, because I honestly don't know. So there's 11 seasons.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, how is it that we're that we're getting so exhausted with The Walking Dead, but The Last of Us is like, getting rave reviews?
So I think that's a fair question, right? So I think a lot of it comes down to, number one, even though it deals with zombies, right, it kind of has the backing of a game, right? So I think a lot of people that maybe are into, maybe like watching shows about that stuff, like them playing the game could certainly do it. And I think, too, it's also something that's has like, it's different enough, right? I think it has good enough writing that it's able to kind of do that. Whereas with The Walking Dead, I think initially, it had a whole lot of people interested. And then, I think with anything, it does tend to kind of slowly die off over time. But, I think when you're kind of, I think, ingrained in the same thing over and over and over again, I just don't know. So it's just, like I said, I find it very surprising. And I just, I just can't understand how many different offshoots of The Walking Dead there are. Now it just feels like it never ends. So,
Okay, so I was looking at this. So The Walking Dead ran for 11 seasons, and
yep,
then you got Fear of the Walking Dead,
yep,
and then you've got World Beyond,
yep.
Tales of the Walking Dead, and then apparently there's a series called Dead City that came out last month.
Oh yes, I think that was the one that had it had Negan and Jeffrey D. Morgan, and it had Maggie, Lauren Cohen are the two in that one. So
yeah, and
I guess that's the thing.
Oh, holy shit! All right, so Daryl Dixon, that comes out in September, but it's already been renewed for a second season, and then and then next year we get The Ones Who Live, and then there's one called More Tales from the Walking Dead universe, which is supposed to have 6 episodes.
I just it's mind-boggling to me. Like I said, I don't have a good explanation for it. I mean, I get, and like I said, like these series certainly could bring something. Like if you really like the characters, there are certainly different dynamics that you can create that get people interested. I will not sit here and pretend like just because it's The Walking Dead necessarily means it's going to be good or bad. It's just after a while, it's like, how much I can't imagine it being so totally different that there's not a little bit like, okay, like we've seen this, it's been done before. What else do we really need to do? So I just, it is what it is. You have that interest in it, so be it. But it just feels like total overkill at this stage to introduce more and more of this stuff.
Well, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before with the when we reviewed the Nun 2 trailer. It's basically the horror genre being sucked dry, and I mean it's pretty much what we're seeing here because zombie apocalypse is a huge popular subgenre within horror itself.
Absolutely.
And even then, it's pretty much following the same formula. So yeah. I mean, how many times can they milk the same formula for all it's got before people truly see it as a dead husk? No pun intended. So, I mean, if we haven't gotten to that point yet, I mean, we're getting pretty close to to where we're getting pretty exhausted with having all this Walking Dead or even the zombie apocalypse shoved down our throats.
Yep. It is definitely circling the proverbial drain at this stage. So
yeah. So I have to ask you this: how does this compare with the Nun 2 trailer?
I like Daryl Dixon more than I like anything in the Nun. So I guess I will take this over both that and Wonka at this stage, just because at least there's probably not going to see too many people dying in Wonka. So
well, I don't think you're going to see Willy Wonka toting a crossbow either. So
probably not. So I will give the Daryl Dixon show the slightest nudge over a lot of this other stuff, just because I think the character has at least enough name power to be able to kind of do something with it, but I'm definitely not expecting it to be anything earth-shattering. So I guess we'll see what happens, but unless like reviews come back very strong with it, never really got around to finishing the Walking Dead, never got interested in Fear of the Walking Dead, and certainly have not gotten into any of the other bajillion offshoots. So unless somebody comes back, it's like, oh, this is, fantastic, or, this is, something that's really awesome, then probably not. I think, there's always a chance, right? So I think like Andor is probably a good example, right? So Star Wars, another thing that's, I feel like, been totally beat dead. The movies, the TV series for the most part have been, kind of either a roller coaster or extremely lackluster, but then, Andor came out and was a pleasant surprise. So you never know. Like, there are gems that could come out of kind of staying within the same universe and just regurgitating something else. But, I think, to me, the Walking Dead doesn't have quite the staying power of Star Wars. So we'll see what they're able to do.
Gotcha. So you're not having any high hopes then, right? You're going in with the very low expectations.
No, I'm expected to see Norman Reedus and be like, hey, I like that guy. He was great in, the 75% of The Walking Dead that I watched, and we'll go forward from there. But I'd be curious what they feel like, what story that they could tell that makes this worthwhile to the audience, right? What are you gonna tell us that makes this interesting from either what we've seen previously, like what's new that you're bringing to the table? I'd be very curious what that answer is, but my assumption is nothing. That's what I'm expecting. There's not going to be anything new that it's bringing to the table.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's just going to be same old, really.
Absolutely.
Oh, right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for our review of the Daryl Dixon trailer. If you guys have any thoughts about the series or what your expectations are, let us know in the comments below. And starting next month, we are going to start bringing in guests for interviews, and our first guest is going to be Jacqueline Bradley. He is a independent filmmaker here in Charlotte, so that is going to be a very exciting interview to do. And plus, we will be interviewing the organizers for the Alexandria Film Festival. So remember to like, comment, subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And let's set a little goal. We've got 14 subscribers on the channel right now. If we can get to 50, I will be happy. And Lee and I will do a special episode to celebrate 50 subscribers. So please spread the word about this channel. Spread the word about the podcast. Let's show some love. Let's get the support. Let's get to 50. Let's say by the end of this fall. Let's not try to set too high of a benchmark. We want to try to make it as easy and realistic as possible. But let's try to get to 50. All right.
I will force myself to watch whatever shitty thing people suggest if we get to 50. So.
Well, you heard it right there, folks. And the Bushwhackers will return sometime this year. Season 2 will be a 4-part special where they go after the 4 oligarchs who were responsible for financing the Russian invasion of Alaska. So just stay tuned for that. And as always, if there are any movies or TV shows that you want us to review, please let us know in the comments below. But other than that, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.